pursued by their debtors. The Ashanti Regional Seedlings Contractors Association urges the government to urgently pay the over 2.3 billion Ghana cedis owed its members for supplying seedlings for the national tree planting exercise for 2021-2022 planting season.
The government is owing us 2,353,928 Ghana cedis. All the contractors.
And later, as Muslims across the country embark on this year's holy Ramadan fasting, National Chief Imam Sheikh Usman Shaributu urges them to live by the principles and teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad during this period.
Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the practice he gave us to take some water and then you follow up with some dates, preferably.
Grateful to you for choosing us this hour. Let's bring you the details of our stories. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagwin, has directed that the House debate the report of the Appointments Committee on the Ministers of State and Deputies appointed by the President on Thursday, with a decision to be taken on the nominees on Friday, March 24. Now, this comes after the House suspended a debate on the report for more than 5 hours to offer members the opportunity to engage in a joint caucus meeting. The following report has more.
The House on Thursday attempted moving the debate on the report of the Appointments Committee on Ministers of State and Deputy Ministers nominated by President Akufo-Addo, but the minority raised an objection to the move, saying they had not been offered ample time to peruse the report, hence the need for the Speaker to postpone the debate to Friday, March 24.
It is important we read this document, have an appreciation of some of the issues, assuming that I have objections with some of the decisions taken by this, and I must support my objection with evidences. How can I do that within few minutes? So I will humbly suggest that we give us at least a day, and I agree with Honorable Bauer's suggestion, so that we can do justice to this. The quality of debate in this House is sine qua non to the quality of our democracy, and most importantly, appointing ministers to man the affairs of this country. So I plead with you, Honorable Right Honorable Speaker, to allow us have time with this. A document has been given to you. Right Honorable Speaker, it's 3 pages. How can you read this document, make concrete contribution to enrich the Hansard and the debate in this chamber? Go beyond this, and let's not reduce this parliament to a circus. Speaker, we should not reduce this parliament to a circus. I believe the time for raising this matter is gone, and it cannot be resurrected. Mr. Speaker, that is the procedure in this House. That is the procedure in this House. And Mr. Speaker, we know the fixation. I'm happy that people are saying that, oh, let's have time to read the report. But even before the report was even born, positions had been taken. If you want to read a report, when you have taken a position on the nominations, that you are going to oppose it, even before the production of the report. Before vetting. Even before vetting. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, can we make progress on this?
But the Speaker objected and rather offered the House 15 minutes to go through the report, after which the debate could be moved.
Let's have a few minutes for you to go through the report, and then the motion will be moved. We are not going to suspend sitting. We are not going to adjourn till tomorrow or any week or any month. The motion will be moved today. Just read through what you have. These are the members that you yourself took through the process of public hearing.
The chairman of the Appointments Committee, Joseph Osewusu, subsequently moved the motion and was seconded by the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin.
I've considered the nominations of His Excellency the President, 4 Ministers of State and Deputy Minister. The nominees demonstrated knowledge in the areas of finance, agriculture, chieftaincy, culture, trade and industry. The committee therefore recommends to the House by a majority decision for the adoption of its report, recommends the approval of Honorable Katie Amond for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Honorable Brian Champong for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Stephen Asamoah for the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam, the Minister of State, the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Osei Bonsu Amwa, the Minister of State, the Local Government Ministry, and Honorable Dr. Stephen Asamoah, Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
The House was later suspended upon a plea by the Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre to have a joint caucus meeting before the continuation of the debate.
Both the minority leader and the majority leader a while ago are very engaged and have come to some decision. And the decision is that I should make this application to you, that we suspend sitting for 1 hour for a very important engagement between the two caucuses.
Let's now go over to Parliament, where our parliamentary correspondent Nia Ikwe Okain joins us via telephone with more on this. Hello, Ni. Many thanks for your time. Kindly tell us, has the House resumed and has the debate on the President's ministerial nominees begun?
So the House resumed from its suspension that took place around 2:30 p.m. And when they returned, the Speaker of Parliament proposed that the debate on the Ministers of State and a deputy appointed by President Akufo-Addo continue so that a decision is taken on them tomorrow. But then the late in the night, and also considering the fact that there were Muslim colleagues amongst them who would have to break their fast and then do the needful. So that was the position of the minority. And then also from the majority side, they were also not happy about this particular directive from the Speaker of Parliament, indicating that if the debate is actually going to continue today, then there's no need to take the decision tomorrow. The decision has to be taken today. But then the Speaker stood by this particular position of his that the debate continue today and then the decision taken tomorrow. So as it stands now, the debate is ongoing. We've had members from the minority side, the Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Lama-Kofiwo and Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa contributing or debating on the report. They have said that they still stand by their position that the government needs to cut down on expenditure by not approving or not even in the first place appointing these ministers of state and then a deputy. So what they would advise is that the government needs to protect the public purse by not adding up to these, to the already high number of ministers that we have. And the majority side, we had Dr. Patrick Boama also contributing, indicating that some of these ministers are members of the House, making reference to Katie Hammond and then Dr. Stephen Amwa, as well as Brian Champong and Obi Amwa. So they can vouch for the competencies of these ministers that have been appointed. And there is no doubt that they would be able to deliver on their mandate, hence the need for the House to approve their nominations. So currently, the debate is still ongoing and we live to see what the outcome will be to fall.
Right. Before I let you go, the suspension earlier was occasioned by a request by Frank Anodompre, the majority chief whip. Now, his reason for that request was to for the two sides of the House to engage in a caucus meeting. And so it will be expected that upon resumption, some level of agreement would have been made, or they would have come to some level of agreement. But from what you've told us so far, the debate is ongoing and still there are opposing views. Are you able to tell us exactly the subject for the meeting earlier between the two sides of the House?
This was a meeting that was held in conclave, so we do not have the precise details of this particular meeting. But all over the period, there has been this disagreement on these ministers appointed by the president, by the minority. And if you would recall, the NDC as a party had also issued a directive to the minority group not to approve these ministers. So that is why
and indeed we saw the chairman of the NDC in the House.
He's even still in the House. He's still in the House. He went out and then returned. And then we also have Sami Jemfi around and some other NDC executives. So all in their bid not to approve these ministers. So there's been some level of engagement. There's been underground engagement with the minority side, just in order to have a consensus on the approval of these nominees by the president. So let's see how the outcome of this debate will be, and then what the decision would be as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Ni Ayikwe Okai is our parliamentary correspondent, and he joined us via telephone with some update regarding that debate on the Appointments Committee's report on President Akufo-Addo's nominees for ministerial and deputy ministerial position. This is the Citi Newsroom. Stay with us. We have more. Well, let's now take you to the camp of the National Democratic Congress, because a former finance minister and NDC flag-bearer hopeful, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, has filed his nomination at the headquarters of the party. So far, 3 of his contenders, John Mahama, Kojo Bonsu, and Kweku Kobia, have filed their nominations. Campaign team members and supporters were present at the party head office to observe the presentation. Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, while filing his nomination, said he was committed to serving the party. The following report has more.
It's another day here at the national headquarters of the NDC. It's still the filing of nominations for the flag-bearer aspirants here. Today we expected to see a former finance minister, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, and he's expected to arrive here in some few minutes' time. You can see a lot of supporters who have come all the way from other regions, particularly the Ashanti region, and they have come here to support the former finance minister. And we also have a tight security presence here, who are also here to ensure that law and order is maintained. And so we'll just get in there to just speak to some of his supporters to find out what they are here to do. Basically, we know they are here to support him, and why they think that Dr. Kwabena should be voted for.
An economist to handle our economy, manage it well for everybody to be comfortable. If not, I'm leaving for Togo.
Dr. Kwabena Duffuor just arrived, and with his entourage, heavy security presence solidly behind him, and the number of supporters also here cheering him up. He's yet to file his nomination.
Ghana, our strength in unity. All the best. All the best. I want to signal that on our part we will do everything possible to keep a very level playing field in order to allow for the best to emerge.
Former Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South constituency, that is Fritz Bafo. I've just spotted him, and he has been endorsing the candidature of Dr. Kwabena Duffuor. You seem to be throwing your support.
Yeah, I am throwing my support.
Right.
Don't see me in this. Ghana is in economic malaise. Our country is reeling from serious economic problems. And so you are looking for someone who's been there before, who knows the technicalities of running a country's economy. And I'm now behind Dr. Kwabena Dufo, a schoolmate of mine, a friend of mine for over 60 years. So therefore, it's a no.
Do you think that he stands a chance of winning at all?
Of course, otherwise I wouldn't be here. We're going to work very, very hard to ensure that his aspirations are met.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
Oh, fine.
Having all these number of people coming to support you.
I'm happy to see them.
There's victory ahead, isn't it?
Sure, we are coming.
So that was Dr. Kwabena Dufo. But who would also get what exactly he wants to tell his support base, what he wants to tell delegates ahead of the elections on May 13th.
The submission of forms, it means we are ready to start the battle. Hello? So today we are starting the battle. Once I've been talking about the grassroots, that the power belongs to you. The power is yours. Therefore, take it and use it and vote properly. The economy is coming back. Ghana is coming back. We are going to restore hope and national pride. 2024, we are going to kick the elephant into the bush. The elephant will go into the bush. Oh. Elephant, Otifie. Obeko.
You sit as a chairman of the committee.
I think it's been a wonderful experience for me as a person and also a party that is in opposition, where because of the economy everybody is so laid back and is crying and weeping, but they came and you can see that it was the most exciting ceremony. It's over. The next step is for the presidential aspirants to be vetted, and after the vetting, whoever qualifies, their names will appear on the ballot paper for 13th May.
We've been informed by the elections committee that from next week, the vetting for the flag bearer aspirants who have filed their nominations will begin. Reporting for Citi News from the national headquarters of the National Democratic Congress, my name is Zakusna Otri.
As part of its processes to prepare for the 2024 general elections, the National Democratic Congress NDC has completed the filing processes for its parliamentary primaries across the country. The completion of the filing processes paves way for the NDC to hold its parliamentary primaries scheduled for May 13, 2023. In the voter region, MP for North Tong, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, and MP for Agotimes Yope, Charles Agbefe, are going unopposed, while Member of Parliament for Ho Central, Benjamin Komlakpodo, and MP for Ketu North, James Kluche Aveji, are no longer seeking re-election. Our voter regional correspondent is Benjamin Aklama, and Benjamin Aklama has the details from the voter region.
So today marks the end of the filing of nominations for persons who are seeking to represent the people of the Volta region on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress. Now, aside from the Hobart constituency, all the other 9 constituencies of the Volta region have incumbent NDC MPs. Among those 9 are 2 whose incumbent MPs are no longer contesting. Those 2 include the Ho Central constituency and the Ketu North constituency. Now, in Ho Central, the Honorable Benjamin Komlakpodo is no longer contesting. One man who has contested him in the last elections is seeking another opportunity to represent the people of the Ho Central constituency. He is Stanley Melvis Galate. He says that a victory for him will be a victory for the youth of the constituency.
I am the hope for the constituency. the hope that will end unemployment, the hope that will end hunger, the hope that will inspire the youth. That is the hope standing before you. We have development capo, but I can assure you that the development commando has come to replace the development capo. I want to tell you that with the youthful exuberance, experience acquired through the political journey, and experiences acquired through my seasoned mentors.
Aside from the whole central constituency, the Ketu North constituency also has its incumbent member of parliament, the Honorable Dr. James Chiana-Paga, not contesting any longer. And that area is also a green ground for those who are seeking to represent the people of Ketu North in parliament. One notable figure amongst them is Edem Agbana. He is the youngest to file his nomination. And he says that he is posing a great threat to the NPP in the area.
They want to build on the foundation being laid by Dr. James Chiana-Paga, must answer certain questions or tick certain boxes. I believe I tick all the boxes, and that is why my candidature will bring into the constituency a new wave of dynamism. Even before the primaries is over, come and do your own independent checks in Ketu North. The youth, the women, the aged, everybody is telling the delegates that when you go vote for Edem Agbana, it tells you that they have identified something. And so when I'm giving the nod as a parliamentary candidate, my team and I have declared that we will pursue Operation 85% in the parliamentary contest for the NDC in Ketu North.
In the Akachi South constituency, Mr. Williams Pomachi and one other are seeking effortfully to replace the Honorable Bernard Ahianfo, who is the incumbent. This is the third time Mr. Pomachi is contesting, and he's hopeful that this time grace will shine upon him.
The shortest message that I have for Akachi South constituency is that the constituency seems not to have a member of parliament representing them. The constituency has lost the link with the member of parliament. There is no cordial relationship between the constituency and the member of parliament.
So persons who are seeking to represent the people of the Volta region within the 10 constituencies of the Volta region have successfully filed their nominations, awaiting vetting. And that will mark the beginning of the campaigns. We'll see how that plays out. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Benjamin Aklam.
Let's now take you to the Upper East region, where some delegates and members of the National Democratic Congress NDC in the Chiana-Paga constituency are cautioning delegates to eschew vote buying and elect a parliamentary candidate capable of addressing the developmental challenges of the area. They are accusing previous members of parliament for the constituency of having done very little or nothing to address the plight of the constituency. They are therefore urging delegates to consider amongst the 4 aspirants who is development-oriented.
The Chiana-Paga constituency is one of the largest constituencies in the Upper East region. The Chiana-Paga parliamentary seat has been a safe seat for the National Democratic Congress, except for 2008, where they lost the seat to Leo Kaba of the New Patriotic Party. The constituency shares border with neighboring Burkina Faso, with the constituents in parliament. Incidentally, all of them are promising to lobby for development projects to the constituency to address the challenges. They are the incumbent member of parliament, Thomas Dalu, Francis Abirugo, lawyer Raphael Alajina, and Nechema Bila Alamzi. While all the 4 aspirants met the criteria and successfully filed their forms, the incumbent MP, Thomas Dalu, is confident he will be rewarded by delegates to continue his development agenda.
There are a lot of things I'm doing, and when we come to start a campaign, the press will know what I'm doing. A lot of them are left, they are not completed, and I think I have to complete them. We were all thinking probably the party will even take at the end of the year. Of course, they are starting at halfway, so you cannot even say who you are. 2 years in office, what have you done? So definitely it's a continuation of what I think I'm doing for Chiana-Paga that I feel I should come back.
For lawyer Raphael Alijina, The constituency has over the period not produced a competent MP who has the network to champion the cause of the constituents, hence his resolve to contest.
After careful thought, listening to the calls upon me, decided that we need to have quality representation. And I believe with my several years, close to 14 years in practice as a lawyer, and looking at the core role of MP in Parliament, I'm the right person to become an MP.
The other contestant, Francis Abirugo, is optimistic his people's project agenda has all it takes to enhance productivity and improve the livelihoods of constituents, and appeal to delegates to vote overwhelmingly for him.
I'm here because of the widows. Being an orphan myself, I know how it is for somebody to grow under his mother. I will not leave those women out there alone. I will not leave the elderly of our party. I will get closer to them, know their problems. Sometimes you don't need a lot of money to solve people's problems.
Then many of the sympathizers and members of the NDC have been admonishing delegates to vote for a candidate who can ameliorate the plight of residents in the Chiana-Paga constituency. Reporting for Citi News, Frederick Auni, Chiana-Paga.
You're watching the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Still to come. Frustrated about being constantly pursued by their debtors, the Ashanti Regional Seedlings Contractors Association urges government to urgently pay the over 2.3 billion cedis owed its members. We'll be right back with the details. Do stay.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I don't know to stick on.
Me pen the POS machine.
Hello. Baby, tonight dinner at 7. Bye.
The winning numbers are 10, 12.
Sorry. I won.
Joy.
Your lottery experience just got better with the new NLA instant payment. Play on the NLA machine, and if you win up to 1,200 Ghana cedis, you will be paid instantly without any stress via short code *389*1000#. Payments above 1,200 Ghana cedis can be redeemed at the newly established payment centers.
Hey! It's in.
NLA instant payment and a paying crime.
Wait, guys. Bring more.
NLA development through gates.
Welcome back to some more stories. The Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association is calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, pay the over 2.3 billion Ghana cedis it owes its members for the supply of seedlings for the tree planting exercise during the Green Ghana Day celebrations for 2021 and 2022. The association laments that government's failure to pay the monies is affecting them heavily, as they are constantly being chased by their debtors, and some of them risk serving jail terms. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Fatih Aminu Ibrahim reports.
The Akufo-Addo-led government introduced the Green Ghana Day celebration in 2021 as part of a national afforestation program to restore Ghana's lost forest cover and also to contribute to the global efforts to mitigate climate change. Since its inception, the government during the Green Ghana Day provides free seedlings to be planted across the country. Some of the contractors of the seedlings used for the Green Ghana Day activities say they have been left frustrated by government's failure to pay them the over 2.3 billion Ghana cedis owed them for providing seedlings. According to the Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association, several engagements with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for government to pay them for providing seedlings in 2021 and 2022 have been unsuccessful despite the many assurances. The members of the association say they are currently frustrated as they are constantly being harassed by banks they secured loans from to procure the seedlings. In an interview with Citi News, the secretary of the Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association, Gloria Amponsa, who spoke on behalf of the group, called on President Akufo-Addo to intervene in ensuring they are paid to lessen their burden.
A lot of our people are in trouble. Some, the law courts are catching them. And we are very, 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 very hot. As I'm standing here, we did our seedling supply from 2021 and then 2022 season. And the government is owing us 2,353,928 Ghana cedis, all the contractors. And we've been to the Forestry Commission several times to no avail. We went there. Sometimes we even sleep there, but all the promises they give us has not come to pass. We have gone to the Lands Commission and Natural Resources, yet all their promises have not been fulfilled. We have also contacted Benito, who is in charge of the Green Ghana Seedling Project. But it's unfortunate, when we go there, he treats us like we are not humans. He doesn't feel for us. As I'm standing here, I have 5 children, and I'm taking care of them. I went in for a loan from the bank, and it's very pathetic. But when we go there, the way he treats us, as if we are not part of Ghana, Ghanaians. So please, we are pleading with Nana Akufo-Addo. We know you love your people. Please, please come to our aid.
Members of the Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association want government to attach seriousness to their demands. For Citi News, Fatih Aminu Ibrahim.
The Ghana Water Company Limited says it is experiencing a worrying trend where many communities in the Ashanti region are engaged in what it describes as water theft. It is thus intensifying efforts in taking legal action against persons who engage in illegal water connection. The company has also served notice that it has begun processing clients with huge arrears for court and would be made to pay the water bills with interest. Amido Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opomafu reports.
Water theft continues to be a major concern for the Ghana Water Company Limited. In the Ashanti region, water officials say this phenomenon is very common in Moshizongo, Abuabu, and many other areas. It is as a result of this that officers from the Ghana Water Company Limited visited the Moshizongo community to engage them on the worrying issue. Speaking to Citi News, the Chief Water Manager for Ashanti North, Francis Mensah, said the water meters that are being stolen are very expensive, and as a result, such practices affect the operations badly.
We have been experiencing water theft for most of the communities in the Ashanti region here. And the worst communities are Moshizongo, Abuabo, and other areas. Our men on the field report not less than 10 meter theft, especially from Moshizongo here. And the meters are very, very, very expensive. And this time is the policy of Ghana Water Company to install smart meters. And these smart meters are very, very expensive, yet people steal them. And after stealing these meters, whilst making arrangements to replace them, you bill our customers on average, or you put them on average to the complaint. So I was just trying to appeal to the community. Most of the communities have watchdog committees, and they are they have upped their game. But I don't see similar thing in Moshizongo.
Mr. Francis Mensah also disclosed that the Ghana Water Company Limited has begun processing clients with huge arrears for court, where they will be made to pay the water bills with interest.
What I've also noticed is that people easily go to ECG on their own volition to pay their electricity bills. But when it comes to water bills, they wait in their houses for us to come to them to demand payment of their bills. I mean, sometimes when you visit their houses, they pick quarrels with our men on the field, sometimes resulting in fiscals, which is unacceptable behavior. So what we have decided to do is to process those who have huge arrears to court, and we have started. We have started with about 66 of such customers, and very soon they will appear before court.
From Moshizongo in the Ashanti region, I am Edward Oponmafo for Citi News.
Education think tank Africa Education Watch is worried that the GET Fund may no longer serve its purpose in the future, since accruals from it are diverted for budgetary support in other sectors. The following report has more.
Ghana is at the International Monetary Fund for the 17th time seeking economic bailout. This decision has seen the government implement some austere measures, including a debt restructuring program and key expenditure cuts. Education think tank Africa Education Watch believes going to the IMF will further put pressure on the government to reduce its budgetary allocation to the education sector. The group bemoans the GET Fund may no longer serve its purpose in the future, since its earmarked funds for education are diverted for budgetary support.
This budget, because we need to meet the IMF conditions of raising revenue from within to finance the budget more, and that not going to the bond market to borrow to finance it, we are taking money for education and moving it to general budget support, and is depriving education of its funding. The implication is that GET Fund cannot create the fiscal space it needs to finance education infrastructure. This will worsen because more and more funds will be diverted from education taxes because of the IMF conditionality.
Kofi Asare was speaking during a presentation of a policy brief on Ghana's IMF program and its implication on public education. He bemoans a freeze on public sector employment, and the delay in the release of capitation grants may further put pressure on the sector under an IMF program.
IMF interim freeze conditionality is totally inimical, it's obnoxious. It has no interest at heart for education, and we will continue to kick against that policy. We want to see full budgetary allocation for capitation grant and other expenditure lines that were cut by 40% in the main budget. And we see an opportunity for the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Education to make amends and do the needful in the supplementary budget, so that we don't, sacrifice basic education for macroeconomic stability.
But a fiscal policy specialist with Oxfam, Dr. Alex Ampabing, wants President Akufo-Addo to assent to the tax exemption bill, which is currently before him, in order to contribute in easing the pressure on government's expenditure.
There are some key areas where I believe government could have looked at. Ghana gives away 4 to 5% of our GDP in tax exemptions. The multinational companies coming here. So you see big company, you think they are paying taxes, they pay nothing to the government. That is equivalent of about $4 billion a year, what we give away. Now we are going to IMF, we are going to be tied to a program. We are going to spend about another 10 years to repay this money, when we are giving that money every year to companies. As I'm talking to you, the bill is still before the president for assent. So you are going to IMF for $3 billion. You have about the same amount you are giving away in tax exemptions every year. Parliament has passed the law, and the bill is still sitting on the shelves of the president, waiting to be assented. That is gone.
The Ghana Central Municipal Assembly in the Greater Accra region is hopeful the commencement of the first phase of a road project at the Sotium-Puma Junction to Ablekuma Fan Milk Junction will help mitigate the flood issues the constituency continually experiences. This is on the back of concerns raised by residents and motorists about the dire effects of flood waters on their livelihoods. The following report has more.
The road, which has been inaccessible since 2008, has been one of the major factors that contribute to flooding in the municipality anytime there is a downpour. Speaking during the inspection of the first route ceiling at the Sotuompuma Junction to Ablekuma Fan Milk Junction, the municipal chief executive of Ghana Central Municipality, Mohammed Bashir Kamara, explained that the project will help curb the flooding issues in the constituency.
Partly it has resolved the flood problem, because before the road, it was done, silt used to be washed down stream, and it was causing a lot of havoc. Even the other road that you see here, which is the Heavenly Church Road, downstream, unless it doesn't rain, I mean, silt get washed down, and then the road was so nasty at that time. Now it has rained only yesterday or 3 days ago. You go there, you don't see silt that as it used to be. So in fact, it's a solution to all problems: drain, gutters, bad road, and now we are experiencing a brand new road. We are happy.
The state of roads in Sotuom has been a major concern for residents and motorists. Recently, there have been several flood disasters in the constituency, which residents have attributed to the bad nature of the road, coupled with inadequate drainage systems. DMC has...
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV, still to come. Black Stars narrowly escapes embarrassment by delivering a one-goal win over Angola in the ongoing AFCON 2023 qualifiers. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay with us.
HIV in fear do you know no credit na adding years semajatum Abraham yen hwehwemu no na duro ni baby a adom ni nti mfiansi achi edro bai e wo Ghana
Ampo ka brano mfie bi achi na antiretroviral no ebi ni ho na anidaso ni ho ma yedache de ne adwene ho ani wu eda yanim
me ne wo faware mfie dunum die ono so HIV positive mfie dodo anyina mu antiretroviral yi ena wiase nyina dia atom se yemfa mre HIV mu awa na se hwe se ye ho ayefe ade ba akone se antiretroviral yi se wono ne pepepe se de ya kire wo na ekutia HIV mu awa no abosumi sia wo yehwehwemu a emmo ne brase na wontimi sanfa ma obi foforo na mmom kai so benum wedru yi
yes nuanom omo HIV mu awa no bi se onum antiretroviral no ne yie yetinye to asase mfiempim no ne adiasa.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
Welcome back. Now, the office of the National Chief Imam has called on the Muslim community to abide by the principles and teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad during this year's Ramadan. Ramadan is a period where Muslims across the world observe a month-long fast. It's also part of the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, Citi News' Hawa Idrusu Mustafa brings us a report on the first day of the month-long exercise. Hawa, please give us the details.
The month of Ramadan is upon us again. Now, Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it's obligatory for every Muslim across the world to fast during the period. On the Citi Newsroom, we are here at the Chief Imam's Palace to find out from the office of the Chief Imam what is the best way of breaking the fast when we are done fasting from dawn to dusk.
A sip of water from the very beginning is very important because scientifically speaking, once your tummy, your intestines, everything have become narrow because of the long period of non-engagement with some sort of food. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the practice he gave us to take some water and then you follow up with some dates, preferably. I'm sure if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been a Ghanaian, he was born here, where date palm is not an abundance, is not part of our agriculture. You know, for example, I'm sure a certain different fruits would have been preferred.
Now, medical-wise and health-wise, we are here to seek medical advice from the experts on what we should be doing and the things that we're not supposed to do during this period, so not to have any complications at the end of the day or at the end of the month-long festival. We are here at the Rayan Medical Center and we are joined by Dr. Faisal Sule. Is it advisable for Muslims to fast during the period, maybe for persons who may have some medical condition?
Health-wise, is a very good exercise to fast during the month of Ramadan. The kind of fast we observe during Ramadan is what falls under what we term intermittent fasting. No, it's not a continuous fasting where you are deprived of the body throughout, like others do maybe for 30 days or so. So this is a very healthy one that has numerous health benefits. Yeah, it's besides the health benefits, as we all know, the spiritual benefits coming with body disciplining yourself to avoid certain things, sex, food, And also, we've also been found and probably confirmed scientifically that it helps the body take care of itself.
So we are here at the Nima market to check the prices of fruits and dates. Then they started Chiano and Yamamuka saying,
"Oh, Yamadia, koye, my. Oh, Motadia. Also, be on time the fruit. Fruit no more dinner. I feel back. Until Omoya fast and sana. I know I'm buying pan fruit. I'm a fruit and a wedding. And then the season. And Tama be wedding. Last year, tomato was 5 cedi. But this year, they are going 10 cedi, 20 cedi. Oh, bananas, but last year, tomato 5 cedi. Last year, bananas, you can take 2 million. And they acquire 4 million, 4.5. If you are some, up we first near 24 million, and then 4.5. Games, we are turning 3 million, and then 3.5. And then also, I'm quite in the season.
How is it going?
Oh, today is going very well. Like, despite the fact that the sun was scorching, but then it's been well, and I could see the sun. The sun is gone and it's cloudy, but then we are coping. Inshallah, we are going to get it to the end.
Now from Nima, let's now head to Parliament and speak to some members of Parliament on how they combine the tedious nature of the month of Ramadan plus the work of the House. Let's listen to some of the members of Parliament.
As Member of Parliament, normally we start at 10 a.m. so that allows you to be able to do Suhoor and Fajr very well, and to pray that you end with Maghrib and Isha, and then to be able to do your prayers. So that's what is important for us.
As a Member of Parliament, it's another additional responsibility, and what it is that the responsibility comes with some cost, because if you're a Member of Parliament, your constituents and the opinion leaders and the Islamic clergy are expecting that you get some money to give to the people that you have been doing. I've been doing a lot of donations across before even I was became a Member of Parliament. So obviously there's some sense of expectations, but all in all, it's good to also do zakat.
No matter the nature of work you do, you have to fast. As long as you are healthy, as long as you don't have any terminal illness. I mean, the interesting thing is that if you go to the rural areas, people are fasting and they are on the field working because it is obligatory. So as to how we cope with the fasting and the work we do here, like I said, we don't have any option.
Now, from all the speakers we have been hearing from tonight on the Citi Newsroom, one thing is for sure, that you need to forgive your neighbor or you need to forgive your friends during this holy month of Ramadan. From the Nima market here in Accra, my name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa for Citi News.
Ghana's senior national team, the Black Stars, delivered a nervy win over Angola in its first game after crashing out of the 2022 World Cup at the group stage. AFC Bournemouth forward Antoine Semenyo scored late in the second half on his home debut to give the Stars a 1-0 win. Chris Hughton got a win in his first game as head coach of the four-time champions at a charged Babayara Stadium in Kumasi. Citi Sports' Yawa Jaminta was at the Babayara Stadium and filed this report.
The day you dropped, Edmonado starting and Mohamed Salisu's fitness not trusted enough, Chris Hughton delivered a big statement in his first game as Black Stars head coach. While the overall play left much to be desired, Chris Hughton announced his tenure as the lead technical man in the dugout with a win. After a generally flat performance, Hughton's men finally ended the game on a high note, with Antoine Semenyo scoring the winner in added-on time. After tasting African football as Black Stars head coach for the first time, Chris Hughton talked about the major challenge with playing football on the continent.
Some of the things I learned that I already knew. You know, sometimes in the heat, you know, it's difficult for the game to have 90 minutes of the tempo that you would like. It's almost impossible. So the game will always be up and down, and there will be times in the game where supporters will look at and think, you know, the tempo needs to be higher. But it's difficult, you know, in these conditions. But it's the same for both sides. So it's about making the most of those moments that you have. And I think anybody watching the game, I think, would have seen in the first half, particularly early in the game, I think we got into some really good positions. But African football is no different to football anywhere. It's about, if you perform well enough, you have a chance of winning. If you score the goals, particularly early in the game, you can take some of the pressure off yourself. And probably, our performance was okay. I think in the end, we deserved it out of the two teams. If you had to pick one team, I thought we were better than Angola. Not so much more, but I thought we were better. But it's no different really anyway. It's about defending, and I thought we defended well and had to. But certainly if we were able to get them goals or that goal earlier, it would have taken some pressure off.
Efficiency in front of goal has been a major problem for the Black Stars over the years, and Houghton noted the challenge in his post-game address.
We've had 11 chances, so that's the first positive. If you was telling me that we played 96 minutes and we only had 2 or 3 chances, then that's worrying. But the fact that we have had chances, you always know that if you go into any game and you have that volume of chances, the law of averages says come the next game or the game after that.
And that's it for the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Many thanks for watching.